And then I just fucking locked up for like 15 seconds. Like, I was like, I didn't think of what to say to start the fucking shit. It's just, it isn't natural. It's not fucking normal. It's, I'm going to cover you for everything. It's just not going to matter. Like, if you could fucking throw up in your lap, it's not gonna, like, it's not going to affect anything, hopefully. Right. No, man, we were like, I love talking to you on the phone. I thought it was really, you know, you get a sense for people right away. And I'm like, okay, this is a guy I can talk to. I was really, well, I'll save this for it too, but it's like, yeah, this is the hardest part of my job, truly, is this part of it, like not talking beforehand. Right. And I missed the photography thing. And I got to say, because your pictures of Rittenhouse, like, I saw your other photos back there, fucking beautiful.
The ones of Rittenhouse are not, they're not.
It's clearly like an under duress, like, fucking.
I'm running. And I'm shooting.
I mean,
we'll talk about it. But.
Like, believe me, I get that.
Yeah.
But those are all I saw.
Yeah.
So I'm like, this dude with a cell phone happened to be there.
Right.
You know. So yeah. Did you see the post that I made about it? And
I did. Yes.
See what I wrote and everything.
I liked it. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I just, the more I thought about it, the more I'm just like, and I'm going to kind of restate some of the stuff that I said for the post to start the show. That's all. Just to kind of let people know, like, truly, we're not trying to grind an axe. I'm going to ask you about your political opinion. I hope that you're honest about it, like, truly. But it's like, that's just, this shit shouldn't be. This is your fucking story and your thing, and it matters to know exactly how you feel and how.
Is it going to be one of those? Sorry to cut you off.
No, it's good.
Is it going to be one of those things where we're just going to go kind of straight into the Rittenhouse, or is there going to be any back?
I'm probably going to ask a little bit about your backstory, just a little bit. Sometimes I've been guilty of doing too much exposition, I guess, but because I do think it matters. It makes me think of how you're thinking when you're going into it, you know. But I'm going to try to keep it to 10 minutes or less, right?
Absolutely.
You know, and get to it, because I'm kind of expecting, certainly not a big, like with live streams like this. It's, what fucking day is it? Wednesday?
It's Tuesday.
Tuesday.
Yeah, Tuesday.
Yeah, Tuesday at 9 p.m. It's like we are not at that level that anyone's fucking waiting for our shit to go on. But hopefully we get, you know, a decent thing.
It'd be nice to see some questions from people.
Absolutely,
that are
man.
Interested and.
I'm very interested to see what we get after the last fucking thing. But but I got a lot of people.
I mean, Jake was writing really. You were getting death threats and shit like that.
Oh yeah, they literally started speaking German on my fucking, like, on my Facebook. Speaking like on an English speaking race discussion. So I'm like, you know, are you aware that has a connotation to it?
Yeah.
That some people could find terrifying.
Yeah.
And it's like, you know what the fuck you're doing. Like, don't, like, and I was actually having a blast. I fucking loved trolling them. Like,
I'm sure.
And I felt like I was really hitting it too, because I just took this posture that I don't understand what they're doing, kind of. And I was just like, oh my God. I said, dude, you're speaking German on this. And just so you know, people might think that you're a white supremacist if you do that stuff. And like, and they're dumb enough that they kept engaging with it and whatever. Yeah. So it was really fun. I was having a good time.
Yeah, people are stupid, especially when you can hide behind the internet.
And oh yeah, for sure.
Say whatever. It's a fucking free for all, you know.
And I've noticed with passionate whites that
there's a lot of them.
Me being white confuses them in a sense. So when I act ignorant or whatever, they like it's like their true base instinct is like, well, he's not against me. Probably. Like, I'm fighting for him. Like, he can't be fucking with me. So it always takes him 3 more fucking seconds to, to catch on to that if they do at all. Yeah. So yeah.
Probably won't, because most of them don't have too many brain cells. So.
Right. And they're, believe me, I would click on their shit and look at them and stuff. And it's like, if there was someone who I was afraid of, like, I would say it. They're all, right. It ain't there. And if they're dumb enough to make a threat to you online, then they're already, goose is cooked. Whoops, I should put my headphones. The goose is cooked.
Emerged from the fucking back office.
Yeah.
So I think this is the first one.
Are we live?
Yep, we're live.
Oh, well, thanks for the heads up.
You were in the middle of telling your
I know.
one story. So I was like,
my one story?
The first time we went live and you froze up.
That was the live? Oh, Jesus Christ. Do you know how many times people have heard that, probably? Hey, everybody. Welcome to Profession Confession. Are we going to play the music? Probably not.
Yeah. Oh, sorry, Jake. If you hit the 3.
Shambolic start.
Do you know where this road leads? Then hear this, all ye people. Give ear, all ye inhabitants of the world, both high and low, rich and poor together. Do you indeed speak righteousness? Do you judge uprightly, all ye sons and daughters of men? And do you judge as others judge? For as you judge, you shall be judged. And if you condemn, you are condemned. Pass on. But there is no return.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to Profession Confession. I'm your host, Gabe Noah. With me, as always, the Carmelicious one, the chocolate unicorn, Tevin Pittman.
Yep. Not in the back today.
Yeah. We have a... Yeah. You... Yes, thank you. He's not in the back. Because, first of all, we're having a racial discussion. So I need a black man next to me to feel safe.
Yep.
And also, it's because we have a newish producer. I think he's done 1 or 2 before.
Yeah.
But he's back. We're happy to have him back. Jake is back there. I don't know if his mic's on. Nope. Heard him talking, but no sound. But yes.
He's new.
Yep. New guy. Let's cut him some slack. But yeah, man. Great episode. Really excited for this one. I want to say a couple things before we introduce our guest. Because we had some, we try to not have the show be a clearinghouse for political ideals or whatever. Like with the Chauvin episode, I don't know if I've told you, but I'm a little bit embarrassed how much I banged the drum on what a lizard Derek Chauvin was, even though I stand by it.
Right.
I meant what I said, but we try to have the show be like let the guests speak their opinion more.
Kind of like a both sides.
Yeah.
Type of thing.
And the passionate whites picked up on that, and
you taught the German people.
Yeah, the people started speaking German on my. We had if you follow us on Facebook or whatever, I shared some of the stuff, but I was having a blast actually, even though there were some threats and things like that.
I'll say, did you like translate it so that way you could?
No, you know what? I never even fucking translated the German. Come to think of it, I just viewed it as
they're probably saying some not nice shit.
We're having a racial discussion in English,
right?
And people have joined the discussion and started saying slogans in German. So I put 2 and 2 together and said, I don't think this guy has my best interest in mind.
No.
So, but I had a blast. Thanks for listening. But it did make me think, like, we did a Chauvin episode last. Now we're doing a Rittenhouse thing, which we are stoked about our guest. We're really excited about it. But I also was like, I don't want people to think I'm a fucking an arm of the left of Antifa. Right.
Well, it's like I think with all of our guests that we have on, like one leads to like another one in kind of the same vein. Like we'll have like stretches where we have 12 sex workers on one after the other because it's like just who you run into. So I guess I wrote this on Facebook, but I just wanted to tell people before we get into this, like just to be clear, truly like this discussion, even though it's impossible to not offend someone doing this. I'm gonna say something that is gonna inflame someone, but truly our intention for this episode is to listen to our guest stories and his experience, and he can talk about his politics. I might even say something too as we're going. It's our fucking show. I get to do that, but I'm not truly not trying to. Like I want people from both sides of this issue, from the most passionate white person to the I don't know what the far left is, Antifa. To my friends at Antifa. Any of those people can listen to this, hopefully, and, fucking hear this shit and reflect on it, learn. I've had a crazy trip doing the research on this. I think that most people like to pat themselves on the back and give themselves credit for being informed, and I was one of those people. And I was reading shit. I was watching videos on YouTube. For this episode, I did more of a deep dive, and I was like, oh shit, man! Like my opinion changed throughout it a little bit, and I'll try to reserve that. But I was really surprised, sort of, I guess. So I'm very interested to talk to our guest, and
As always, people who are watching the live stream are invited to, if you guys want to write your comments below on the Profession Confession page. So if you're seeing this on someone else's profile, go to the Profession Confession page, comment below the video, and it'll come up on screen, and we'll try to have our guest answer questions, or if you just want to comment on my body or anything like that, I welcome you to it. Or Tevin.
Right, that's,
Yeah.
I think we already have a comment, too. There was somebody, so we had people
all right.
on it early.
And then I should say, too, yes, Joe Bremer, thank you. He says, this should be a great episode. Yeah, once I fucking start it, sorry. But also, I should say, our guest wishes to remain anonymous, so he's not going to be on camera, but I assure you he is in the room. If you want me to judge his looks, I'd say he would do very well in pornography if he wanted to go there.
Yeah, I would say that.
Yeah. And
we know that because we've had porn stars on the show.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah. But yeah, welcome to the show, Mr. X.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you guys for having me here.
Man, no, thank you very much. I should say for the audience, this is something that he is not like the last guy, the Chauvin guy, happened to have a podcast. Not the greatest optics, but that's not his fucking fault.
Right.
He wasn't doing it in some whatever, like, wait, how do I profit from that? Like, he was very earnest, a great fucking guy, I thought. But if you haven't listened to that episode, I'd strongly recommend it. But no, this guy is not here to promote, and he has shit to promote because he is a photojournalist.
There it is.
Sorry, thank you. I was going to say social justice photographer and blow all your shit out of the water right away.
I mean, you're not totally wrong there, but either way.
You've been doing a lot of that stuff, right?
Yeah.
You've been whatever. Like you've done all the big riots.
Yes.
Yeah, all that stuff. All right. Do you want to tell us a little bit? Yeah, I guess about your job, what you do, and how long you've been doing this, I guess.
Yeah. So I kind of got my start mainly when George Floyd happened. You know, George Floyd was kind of a big thing in our neck of the woods in the world, actually.
Yeah.
So I watched the video of George Floyd.
Yeah.
Being murdered by Chauvin.
Mm-hmm.
And I was just like, that is insane.
Yeah.
That is insane. How can this happen? So I felt compelled to just go out. So I had just bought a new camera. I was new to photography.
Mm-hmm.
But I was like, you know what? I'm going to go to the 3rd precinct and I'm going to bring my camera and just kind of see where it takes me. See what happens. You know what I mean? So that's kind of where I got my start, and it was wild, man.
Were you politically, I know, because we talked a little bit before this. I try not to get too much info, and in a very typical Gabe Profession Confession way, I did all this fucking preparation and found out when I got here that he was a photojournalist. I thought you were just a passionate leftist who was at all these things. So I'm like, fuck, that blows all the questions I had and all that shit. But whatever the case. So yeah, but you were politically inclined in that direction, or are
yes,
sympathetic to that cause.
I am.
Are you involved in any groups and stuff like that, I guess?
No, not really.
Yeah. Antifa. Say Antifa.
No.
Okay.
The funny thing too is that, you know, all the right wingers, they think just because you show up, you are Antifa, and that's sorry, that's not necessarily the case. I would consider myself Antifa, even though, you know, I'm sympathetic to the Black Lives Matter cause.
Sure.
So. Yeah, no, I'm not really.
Yeah, I just want to put that out there. Ask for the cynical viewers out there, where it's like, you know, and I mean, I don't think it matters in this context, probably, because it becomes a very human story, maybe. But we'll see. Were you involved? So, had you been to a lot of demonstrations before this, or you started taking your camera before George Floyd?
Yeah. No, not really.
Okay.
George Floyd was kind of the stepping stone for me to get my foot in the door with photojournalism, and I went out there and I was like, wow, like this is intense, and in a sick way, it was kind of fun.
Of course, of course. At first,
I went out there I was out there like every day, and I remember talking to one of my friends and being like obviously like it's not, you don't want to have to be out there, but it's like it's definitely like an adrenaline rush being out there, especially if you're out at night, where if you're not whatever, looting anything or anything like that, just being a part of and seeing all of the chaos that was going on, it's definitely a rush.
Oh, I've gone from, truly, there were points in my life that if a riot went on, I would have been like, thank fucking God. I'm going to go get some shit. Like, I would have participated in the ugly, because I was a heroin addict and disaffected and like, you know, I mean, whatever. You feel like, whatever. I had some anger to express.
Yeah.
Now, I have, whatever, when the George Floyd thing happened, I lived, you know, for anyone who doesn't know, I lived, whatever, 6 blocks from the precinct. So I had a horrible fucking time with it. Like, it was awful, because at first I was loving it, paying attention, like truly like, oh, this is kind of fucking cool, and that's what you get.
Yeah,
fucking kill someone on camera like that in the most lizardly way, it's gonna fucking happen. And then, from my perspective, I'm curious if you felt this way, but you know, I was watching that unfold throughout the day, and in my mind, I don't really know why, but you could tell, in my mind, you could tell completely that another element moved in to take advantage, like guys coming in the back of trucks, like you could tell people were coming in to take advantage of that situation, and then it started going fucking crazy. And I had been telling my wife at the time, who have our young children, like, stay here, they're not going after the homes, like, just, you know, it's fine. And pretty soon, 2 hours later, I was like, I am the biggest fucking idiot. Like, the buildings are on fire around us, and
air quality's gonna be terrible.
It was horrifying. It was truly like, and I'm not I usually love that shit. That was fucking crazy. When you feel the heat from fires on your home, that's a really intense moment to be in. I think it's important to kind of, remember that aspect of it, right? You know, that it's that way. So when you were at George Floyd protests and that went off, were you there for the, you know, for all of it, like for the riot aspect of it?
You know, I'm going to be completely honest with you. I wasn't out there much for the rioting with George Floyd. I was still just kind of like unsure.
Yeah. Were you afraid? I mean,
absolutely.
Yeah. Is that why you left?
Absolutely,
That's what I'm wondering.
You know, and the 3rd precinct burned down, and then just all hell broke loose, and I was like, I don't really want to be down there right now. You know, I don't have
no
protection. Doubt. It seemed like a lawless, like everything was lawless.
It was lawless. Like, no doubt.
The nice thing that I noticed is that, I mean, throughout the days, because I had been there every day, just kind of went home at night. I had noticed that the protesters aren't really against each other.
Right.
So, you know, I didn't really fear like somebody's going to come out and like jump me and take my shoes, you know, like I wasn't worried about that.
Right. No, it was, you know, there were things like there's an auto parts place by my house, and I'm in there bargaining with the looters who are spraying kerosene and shit on stuff, and I'm like, please do not burn this down. There's a black family whose house is literally touching the back of that building, and I'm like, please don't do this. And then you were like, oh, I'm a white guy fucking asking them to do that. Like, this is you know, I'm going to get the fuck out of here. I tried. And it's like, it's just, there's so many, I know that they were good to each other in it. But the second you know, I mean, it's a fraught situation, right? If you, I mean, that's what I was saying when I was walking the front yard of my house, because there was thousands of people on the street in front, on this little side street. And I was walking with a bat and going, I'm on your side, please stay off my property. I'm on your side, please stay off my property. Like, it was just, you know, it was whatever. It was a fucked up thing.
Yeah.
And I think it goes into the Rittenhouse thing, because as this went on, I thought with the George Floyd, I was like, cool, this is fucking kind of cool. This is kind of wild, right? And then it went off and our city burned down. And then it was like, it was awful, but you understood how it got there, right?
Yep.
And then for me, and I'm working towards the Rittenhouse thing, there was the dude who shot himself in the head downtown, right?
Yeah, I remember that.
And then that caused a mini riot. We were at the studio at the time, and we had to rush home because it sounded like it was going to kick off. Again, I'm looking into it and watching it, and then the Minneapolis police released the video to let everyone know this was not, we did not kill him, blah, blah, blah. And then I saw the Twitter feed just light up with, you fucking psychopaths. Is there no end to your bloodlust showing murder porn on this thing? And I'm like,
what do you want them to do?
And it got us into this thing, you know, that had been happening a long time, but where I was extremely sympathetic towards all those things. I still am sympathetic towards it. But people's tolerance for rioting and for that for that demonstration and shit was getting to be a powder keg in Rittenhouse.
And like the guy that shot himself downtown, like I was working at Union at the time, and it happened like 3 blocks away. And I remember I went outside and I was like talking to this guy. They're like, "Oh, what happened?" They're like, "Oh, the police shot somebody." And I was like, "Oh no, like pretty sure he shot himself. Like here's the video." They're like, "Well, it doesn't matter. We're just gonna go get this shit." Like so, it was at the point where they're just
and I'm just bringing that up because it's you know how that built to get to where you were and how that shit happened because it, you know, on the surface it's insane like why people were there with guns, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's still, you know, I still am not I'm not sympathetic towards that necessarily, but I understand it, you know. So tell us about so nothing notable happened with you with the George Floyd one. Was the Rittenhouse one the next one, because that was 5 months later?
Yeah, I think Rittenhouse was kind of the next big situation with Jacob Blake, I should say.
Yeah, Jacob.
But so that was kind of the next situation, and you know I saw that video, and I was like, they shot him in the back 7 times.
Yeah,
7 times while he's trying to get in his. I mean, that was ridiculous. So I was like, you know, Kenosha's a 6-hour ride.
Yeah.
Packed up our bags with my buddy, and we were like, all right, well, we're just we're gonna go out there. We're gonna see what happens. We're gonna go out there and try and document this. So we made the drive, and it's funny too because I remember on the way up or over, way east. Yeah. Either way, I didn't have any protection in terms of like bulletproof vests. Helmets, anything like that. So I was on my phone while my buddy's driving, and I'm trying to find spots that I can stop and just get, you know, a bulletproof vest or a vest with some plates, something to protect myself.
I gotta say, the helmet would make you look like a major pussy.
Sure.
But believe me,
come out with like a bike
100%.
A Schwinn.
I would go in a fucking like one of those sumo suits with a helmet,
like the bomb squad
like truly.
Suits,
And that was going to be my question: is did you have any pause that, hey, this last riot went really bad, went really poorly? You left for that one out of fear. Like, what was your feeling to go to this one? Like, was it kind of like, fuck, I should have been there, or I don't know.
Yeah, a lot of that was, you know, like when I was missing like the major rioting with George Floyd, that's kind of why I was like, you know what, I'm gonna go to Kenosha and see what happens, and if it pops off, I'm not just gonna go home this time. You know? I'm gonna stay here. I'm gonna check it out. I'm gonna, you know, be here with these people.
I want to note too, because I forgot to say this at the beginning, but I think it's.
I know what you're gonna say.
No. Actually, what I was gonna say is that you're a new journalist, and this stuff, like someone listening might think that you could be quite amateurish in this thing, but you've been published in London Times, in like
Star
many, many major outlets already. So I mean, and then also, are you with Unicorn Riot?
I love Nico. Nico's a homie.
Yeah.
But I don't work with him.
Yeah.
But we'll see each other out there all
the
time.
Right.
Like, hey, what's up, Nico?
There's a big network of photogs out there, right?
Yep. Yeah.
I mean, in general.
And especially too when
photogs.
Photogs.
You feel cool.
Paparazzi.
Right.
Yeah.
But especially when George Floyd happened, everybody seemed to come out with a camera.
Right.
Oh yeah.
And everybody was a photographer at that point.
Unicorn Riot became CNN.
Yeah.
It was fucking amazing, actually. Like I was watching that. I liked it.
There was a Snapchat. There's a guy that like went out with his phone just on Snapchat and who's literally out there 24/7. But that's like where everybody got their news from.
Yeah.
He was just inside of burning buildings and stuff.
By chance talking about Andrew Mercado? Do you know?
I don't know what his actual name is, but his Snapchat was Nigga News.
Oh, and definitely not.
Oh, I'm a subscriber. I'd like to shout him out right now. Hayden.
Right.
So you're going to Kenosha with a friend who's a more established, photojournalist.
Yeah.
I'm fucking struggling.
Photog. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
We'll roll with that.
Yeah. So I'm sorry we cut you off, but you're looking for a helmet and a flower that squirts water.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I couldn't find anything,
Yeah.
So I was like, well, just gonna roll with my T-shirt.
Do you identify yourself as press in those crowds? Like, is that dangerous?
I do.
Okay.
But it is dangerous because people will sometimes target you just because you have press on your chest. You know, people don't necessarily want to be in these photographs all the time.
Right.
People don't necessarily want to be seen at this riot doing riotous things.
Yeah.
Or anything like that. And you know, if somebody comes up to me and is like, hey, man, I saw you take that picture. Can you please get rid of that? I'll absolutely honor that.
Did that happen often?
A couple times. There was a couple times.
Hey, you know when I threw that bottle full of concrete at that top? Could you delete that?
But you know, there's other times where you can blur people's faces out so that you can't see them, and you know.
Was there ever anything you were asked to delete that you felt, I don't know, like, you know, because someone throwing a 20-ounce bottle filled with concrete, which did happen, right, at cops, you can say, you know.
Or cans of soup.
Or cans of soup, like all that shit. Like, I saw the thing in Minneapolis, I think it was, where someone threw like a fucking hubcap or something like that. It was somewhat like, it did have a comedic effect. Just, it was so ridiculous what the dude threw that it was like, but the pain was, it was sickening, like the second after you realized what happened, because it dropped the dude. And it's like, I don't give a fuck where you stand politically. Like, if we're all standing there accepting that, like, that is a awful commentary on our, you know, on who we are, right? And that's so I'm wondering if you saw those things, if you ever felt, you know, kind of like I don't want to protect you in a sense.
You know,
I know it's dangerous.
You're
part of the mob.
I don't know if I felt that.
Okay.
Personally, but did
you see things like that?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I mean, I constantly saw people, you know, chucking rocks.
Yeah.
And
I'm kind of okay with that. Like, I mean, in that context.
Sure.
I'm just saying, when you see the shit that's maybe out of pocket, did you ever have any, you know, where it's like, you're not just trying to hit someone with a rock, which can hurt.
Yeah.
You could kill someone doing
Absolutely.
that. Yeah. Would you have an issue with that if you saw that in that, you know, at that time?
Well, I mean, would I have an issue with it?
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. You
okay.
know, nobody wants to see people get hurt or maimed, or a rock thrown in their face, or
I think some people do right now.
That is true. I'm not. I shouldn't say everybody.
Right.
Some people.
Most. Yeah.
You know, there's crazy people out there that just thrive on shit like this.
Yeah.
Is there anything that sticks out as like the craziest thing you saw somebody get thrown at like the police? Like when I remember being downtown and somebody threw a gallon jug of 1% milk at the police and hit him square in the chest, and like I was like
now that's my kind of fucking riot.
We're in the crowd, and all of a sudden you just see this jug of milk come flying from the left, and I remember it was like in slow motion, and I see like the little yellow cap, and I'm like, there's no way, and just square in the chest. The cop like stands there, like then like the whole crowd just freezes because they're about to fuck us all.
Yeah,
right.
And so everybody like kind of takes a deep breath, and like nothing happens.
Who threw that milk?
And then like a lady's like, if you don't get the fuck out of here right now, you're gonna get us all shot. But yeah, so anything.
So
like that?
one
Did
thing.
He knock the cop down? Sorry.
No, he just stood.
That's impressive, actually.
Yeah,
he must be a bulky guy. Either way, so I think one thing that sticks out to me was actually in Kenosha. There was a guy. Well, actually, it was like 3 guys, and they picked up an entire barricade, and they ran it up like a construction barricade. You know what I mean? They ran it up to the cops, and they were about to like all try and like throw it at this line of police officers, and all of a sudden the cops just unloaded with the pepper bullets, you know, rubber bullets, tear gas, all that.
Bullets?
So
I didn't know.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
They're not fun.
I'll bet.
They're not fun.
I've gotten pepper sprayed bad date. No. No. It was for the U of M when they won the national championship for hockey, and they did the bombs.
Dinkytown? Yeah.
Yep, the Dinkytown, and it was awesome. But then everyone started puking in the library bar there, and it was fucking awful. But yeah, so I've seen that. I've just never heard of the bullets.
Yeah. But I mean, they weren't successful.
Yeah.
I'll say that.
Right.
But I think that's one of the craziest things. I was like, damn, these 3 dudes, they don't have any protection on them. They're going to run up to this line of cops and throw an entire, like, huge barricade at them.
Yeah.
Insane.
It is insane. It's, you know, I don't want to jump ahead, but with all this stuff, it's something I've always struggled with. Actually, even though in my life I've been at different times I've been very anti-law enforcement. Now I find myself being very neutral. Like, just good guys over there, good guys over here. Mm-hmm. The bad cops need to be fucking rooted out.
Yep.
You know, and that means the good guys got to step up and take some chances here. But generally I believe everyone's just fucking people, right? Yeah. And there's a lot of that. But I hate, and I mean I hate how people will test cops, like, you know, where they're standing in the line and going like, huh? Fucking pig. Like that right. Shit. It's like, what do you think is going to happen?
Yeah.
Right.
And then you act amazed that they fucking lose their shit and go like, come the fuck on.
And especially because I look at it from, like, if I was the police officer, I'm like, the second I see you coming towards me with the barrier, like, I'm prepared to lose my job. Like, I'll fuck you up in the quickness. Like, I'm not going to sit here and get fucking spit on and all this other shit. Like,
I got a gun.
Right.
I can, all these dudes will lie for me. It doesn't, like, if you were, if I was a furniture salesperson, if they gave all the furniture guys guns and then said, you have these guns, but you can only use them if someone, like, if you really need to use it, if someone's really, I would have popped like one dude a week, and then I'd say to my buddy, because then I get investigated by other furniture guys, and then I go like, well, you know what it's like. That dude was like fucking whatever, lowballing me and shit, and you know, like, oh, well, okay. It's just, that's how it works. So I hate the whole provocation shit, and at the same time, I love fucking riot shit, and I love at the Dinkytown one, which someone commented that, like, sounds like they might have been there.
She's at the celebration.
Yeah.
Anne.
I wonder if Anne
Marie
Camilla. I wonder if she remembers there was a dude who was the funniest dude. I was so jealous I didn't think of this.
Oh, I fucking love
They
this
had
story.
everybody lined up, and the cops had formed this perimeter. So, like, it was all the students and people on one side of the street, cops with all the shields there, and some dude jumps up on a mailbox with a pole there, and he goes, hold, like doing a Braveheart thing. It was so fucking funny. I was jealous.
I mean, that's badass.
It was fucking awesome. Any funny moments like that through your riot stuff?
You know, I wish I would have sent this picture to you guys. I actually have a picture of, in Kenosha, some dude just dressed up in a full-on Spider-Man suit.
Awesome.
So Spider-Man was out there causing chaos, rioting, you know, doing all those crazy things, and I just thought it was so funny.
Gotta wonder what his mindset was. Like, is he a crackpot who's going, I think these people would feel better knowing that Spider-Man also is, you know, supports him? Or is he just going, this is fucking funny, and, you know, it's awesome.
Another one, too, and I think I actually sent this photo to you guys, is there's a guy literally holding a broom that's on fire, and he's got, like, a medieval, like, sash or some sort of skirt, or so, I don't know what
That's another awesome guy.
Yeah, that's that one right there. And you know, he's the lone guy there too.
There's football shoulder pads for me.
Yeah, right. There's nobody else around
That's
him.
fucking hilarious.
And he is out there with his
gloves,
his
and
gloves, his skirt, and I think that photo's hilarious.
And we could just say, for, like, rioting purposes, not the greatest outfit choice. I mean, the shoulder pads, yes, but, like, now you got a skirt. Like, how you gonna run and jump and get away in a skirt?
High slit. Maybe he can get going. I don't know.
What you can't see in this photo is he came equipped with a Nerf gun as well.
See, that's fucking funny.
So he showed up to a riot with a Nerf gun.
I do love the performance art aspect of all this stuff. Like, and just like there's always a guy who pushes it, who runs up close to the line and does shit like that, right? Love that type of shit. It's when people go to, like, really harm people. I don't even mind some of the destruction of property. I'm an old white guy now, so I fucking hate tagging, like, with a fucking passion. But yeah, I don't know. I'm so conflicted on all the shit, right? Because I get where I 100% agree with where they're coming from, right?
Yeah.
But it's like, and people will go riots like that. There's never there's never an excuse to do that. There's never, and I'm kind of like, that's my instinct 100%. But I, you know, at the other time you go like, man, if they're fucking killing all my fucking people and all that, like, listen, I just, it's fucked up. That's you put hate in the world, you get it back. So I mean, that's
and
the
negative part about that too is, you know, there's anarchists out there that literally just show up and they That's all they want to do.
Yeah.
They want to cause chaos.
I used to be one of those guys.
There you go.
Were you? Was there ever a sense among the rioters to quell that? Like, where you'd see people shout down people who are doing fuckboy shit and whatever.
Many times.
Many times?
I honestly, genuinely think that nobody wants to see their community burned down.
Right.
Nobody wants to see their stores looted. Nobody
It's the height of
wants...
stupidity to
Correct.
burn your own fucking community down.
So
right.
people do get passionate about that. They're out there. They're like, stop.
Yeah.
What you're doing right now is not cool. It's going to affect our entire community, and you are probably not even from here.
Right.
So stop.
I saw some people looting the auto parts store, and there was these 3 overweight girls pushing a fucking an engine block lift across the road. Like, what the fuck are you guys gonna do with that?
Yeah.
Right. What the? And I was shouting that out. I go, you don't even know what that is. What is that? What is that? And they, I don't know, but it's worth money. Whatever. Like. Right. And they're struggling to get over the curb. It was actually hilarious.
Do you want to tell me where you got this engine block lift
from?
from?
It was fucking hilarious, actually. I was looking on Marketplace to buy cameras, though, the whole next week, and I didn't see shit.
I think the coolest thing, or the funniest thing I saw was there was a guy that had tied 6 or 7 Target shopping carts together and was each one had a TV in it, and he's pulling it down the street.
I'm impressed.
I was like, that's good. I'm like, and nobody's fucking with you either.
Right.
Good for you, dude.
Watching the people loot Target was tough, the 3rd time, kind of, because it's just such a display of fucking. It's just an ugly fucking thing. Like, we're in. We let's go get some shit. And I don't know. I don't know what it is. It's just gross to me.
But there's also, when I was in that Target by the 3rd precinct,
you were in that one?
I was, yeah.
When it went down?
It was the next day.
Okay. What'd you get?
Not a looter here.
Yeah.
Just want to throw that out there.
Yeah.
But I witnessed, a woman, and the water is ankle deep, if not higher, because all the sprinklers are going off all night. And there's a woman out there with, her 3 kids. Children, babies. And she's just trying to get whatever she can to survive. And so I feel for those type of people. But when it comes to you're walking into Target and you're grabbing 70-inch televisions,
right?
Maybe I understand. I'm with you. I'm sympathetic to it because I understand why it's happening, but I also think it's people just
reveling in the
correct.
Yeah.
Just taking
which I
advantage
also
of the
understand.
situation.
Yeah.
So, and I'm sure there was a lot of that.
Believe me,
there was a lot of that in Kenosha as well.
Take advantage of a situation. So So back to Kenosha. I'm sorry, we're gonna stick to this now. So you're there. The press stuff. So I think you had nothing but your T-shirt, basically.
Yeah, I showed up in a T-shirt and a sweatshirt.
With a press badge?
Pair of jeans. I didn't, at that point, I had no press badge.
How do you guys know where to go? Were you coordinating with any people, to know where to go? Or are you just looking at news people are gathering here and stuff?
Kind of the news, yeah. Because, you would look and you'd see,
you didn't ask Antifa?
Did not ask Antifa.
They didn't send out the email?
There was no Antifa email, unfortunately.
No.
Okay.
But so basically we just look at the news, or it's, in the age of live streamers now, because that's a huge thing. You just pop on Facebook, you see who's live streaming, where they're at, what they're doing, what's going on, and then you can gauge oh, okay, well, they're at the Kenosha County Police Department or the courthouse or whatever. So that's kind of how we found our way, found where everything was kind of happening. So
So kind of a random question. Did you stay in a hotel, and was it hard to book a hotel? Did they well, why are you coming in from out of town?
We did, and it's funny too, because my buddy has a bulletproof vest. So we did stay in a hotel, right? And we're walking in, and we've got all of our gear, and he's got his bulletproof vest, but it doesn't have press on it. So he's got it
you just look like you're here for fucking
walking
for a
into
war.
This hotel room with our bulletproof vest and all of our gear and stuff like that. They probably thought we were there to.
That does make it look like you are there to fuck shit up in a way, right?
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
right. We have backpacks, we have duffel bags, we have all kinds of stuff. So, but yeah. Anyways, to answer your question, stayed in a hotel. It wasn't that hard to book.
Okay.
I was kind of surprised about that.
What? And then also, you've been to like 2 major riots. You've seen thousands of people, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So I think what a lot of people would wonder is, what's the biggest set of tits you ever seen there at a riot? When you like got to here?
Did you get a picture?
I don't have a picture. I don't have a picture, guys.
Okay.
I let you down.
We have to ask that for our audience every time. So
that's fair.
That's fair. Yeah.
That's
what the people want to know.
I don't know how to answer that question.
Just say big.
Big.
Yeah.
They were
really big. Wow.
Yeah.
That's great. That's terrific. So you got to Kenosha. What night? So was that the first night that happened?
So we decided. So Jacob Blake got shot 7 times by, I can't remember the police officer's name.
Yep.
And me and my buddy that day were like, okay, tomorrow morning we're gonna pack our bags. We're gonna go. So we technically showed up on the second night. The first night, there, I think that automobile zone went up in flames. I think. So
that's what they did in Minneapolis too.
Yeah.
Like they go after auto zones first.
Well, I don't think it was an auto zone. It was a car.
I hope they got one of their competitors.
Car sales place.
Yeah. Yeah.
Used cars.
Yeah.
And they had lit all the cars on fire.
Was the atmosphere comparable to George Floyd? Like, I mean, when you got there, did you feel like the stakes were higher right away or not?
I did.
Yeah.
Mainly just because I wasn't really there for the riots for George Floyd, aside from being there during the day. And, we still got hit with rubber bullets and stuff during the day, too, but it wasn't like at night. Was it because you were hearing chatter? So, obviously, to me, what was interesting in reading about this stuff, like, and I didn't even get to do enough research probably, but it's like, it was funny to me, the places that the defenders or whatever, the patriots, the citizens would gather, because they'd gather at gas stations and a used car lot and we're going to protect these places. And I'm like, why do you think people are after those places? But whatever the case, it was odd. So I'm wondering how conscious you guys were that was going on, that the citizens were moving into position. Did you get word of that right away? Like, hey, there are people coming in to be anti-protesters. Actually, yeah. I think I got a text from one of my buddies who was also there. He's a live streamer.
On the car ride down kind of thing? Like, you were going into it?
I think we just pulled up into Kenosha. We were in our hotel room just kind of getting our bearings straight so we can go out, right? Mm-hmm. And we got a text saying, there's a big patriot presence that are planning to come. Yeah. Gag me. Anyways, they're planning to come and, hold down the space and, just be prepared because
they own that car lot. The car lot and that one whatever Marathon gas station, do not go there.
Yeah,
because that is controlled by the citizens.
Apparently.
Yeah.
We did have a little bit of warning ahead of time that they were going to be there, but I had spent most of the summer just going to regular protests, and there's a group of they're called the Minnesota Freedom Fighters.
Yep.
They were super great guys. They're friends of mine now. I went and played paintball with them and stuff like that. So, but they go out there with, big AR rifles. They go out there with, submachine guns and all stuff like that.
Who are they? Are they on the side of the a BLM kind of stuff? They're BLM's answer to the citizens.
So they're there to try and make sure the protesters are safe. Right.
Yep.
So I had been hanging out with them for a couple months before this happened, because even after George Floyd, it kind of calmed down, but there were still protests happening.
And that resentment was building.
Yes.
As I said, when the second riot happened, I was like, I came home to my then wife and I was like, all right, I'm ready to move to the fucking suburbs. You win, we'll fucking go because fuck this place. Yeah. Like, this is getting crazy. So yeah, that was happening everywhere.
I was used to having big guns around me. I wasn't. It didn't throw me off because the first time I saw it, I was like, wow, what is this guy doing out here with this gigantic gun? Why is this necessary?
Did you feel safer around those? Jesus
so
Christ.
that picture.
Jake, what
actually,
is that gun? Oh, you gotta turn up the volume
4,
on number 4.
Oh, it might not be plugged in from.
Oh, it's probably not plugged in.
Just leave the picture.
Anyway, yeah.
So I think it's some sort of shotgun, but he must have tricked it out, because I mean that thing is.
I mean, he's like fucking Rambo,
Yeah.
right? He's got the like. So I guess that to me, and I heard this when I was doing my research with this. Even the people in the Rittenhouse camp, right? Like, I mean, all the people he was communicating with and stuff, they were conscious of the law or worried about it, right? Because one of the guys, I know there was some quote thing, like they took their Facebook statuses and stuff, or I think the group chat is what it was or something. And the guy said, can I bring my AR-15? He's like, because I haven't carried that since I was in the military. And he's like, it feels really weird to be walking around outside with that. And it feels wrong, so I wanted to ask.
Yeah.
So it's like even the citizens, had misgivings. Like, So when you see that, I've seen dudes with the conceal and carry shit or have that out, and it's like, in a way, I fucking hate it, right? Just to see any gun. I don't care what side you're on in general, because a gun just raises the stakes.
Right.
And it's just, what the fuck, dude? Right?
Especially a gun of that caliber.
Yeah, Jake?
Right. Yeah, that's you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a high capacity 12 gauge. It looks like a Kel-Tec. It can hold probably 12 to 13 shotgun shells.
Jesus,
it's not practical whatsoever.
That's what we call an alley sweeper where I live. Yeah.
That's a personal defense weapon that is not practical whatsoever.
Yeah, you don't go hunt ducks with that.
No.
Yeah. Yeah, it's an enormous gun for anyone who just listens to the podcast. And for those people, you can look up this tape on Facebook or our YouTube page.
So this guy actually, he was one of the guys that were one of the patriots that were kind of in the same. He was not with Kyle Rittenhouse, but they were in that group. That's actually at that gas station down the street from where Rittenhouse shot Rosenbaum.
Yeah, where that happened.
So that's what I mean, we rolled up to this gas station. We were just like, fuck.
How many dudes were there?
There was probably 25, 30 dudes with, huge guns, and they were all white, all white people. Mm-hmm. Not a shocker there.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we rolled up and we were like,
Yeah.
This is intimidating. And
whatever, to see if he's having an issue with that. Take that down.
It.
Oh, okay. Oh, there we go. It's back. Well, yeah. Okay. So you guys got word that that's going on. Where did the initial protesting happen? Like, where did it form around there?
It started at the Kenosha County Courthouse.
Okay.
And the first night they didn't have barricades up around the courthouse. Mm-hmm. The first night that we were there, I guess. So second night of riots or protests or whatever you want to call. So that's where kind of everything started. That was the center where everybody decided to show up and kind of form a game plan.
Yep.
During the day, it was still pretty crazy, because you have lots of dudes standing right in front of cops, like egging them on and like saying really terrible things to them, and like
I just feel bad for the black cops.
Yeah, well,
like they get it so
worse.
Fucking right. That's what I'm saying. They get it worse, right?
Because
what I
like,
saw.
Well, you're supposed to be on our side.
Yeah.
But, and the cops, they take it, but you can also tell that it's like
they're human beings.
Not easy.
Right. Of course. Right. And those are people, like, let's say, who seek out that job because they are of a certain mindset. So it's like that's not what they signed up to be a cop for, is to be tolerant. Right.
Yeah.
So so when you were walking into that first day, you were saying that they were organizing people.
Yep.
Do you get a big sense that they're, I think that's what a lot of the conspiracy stuff is, right? Is that there's groups that are strong, that there's a bunch of organization and planning and shit's going on. And I know that there's absolutely aspects of that go on. Just that's any protest is going to have that. Did you find, I guess I'm wondering, when you walked into that first night, if it felt different. Did it feel like if the protesters are egging the people on a lot, did you feel like, boy, this is a powder keg that's going to fucking blow?
At first, no. At first, no. I thought it was just going to be another situation where, we are going to see some
shit goes off,
shit,
but
but
normal.
It's not going to be crazy.
Yeah.
And then that night, I think what really sparked everything is that they went to like a parole center for criminals or like people that are on parole, and that was the first thing that burned down that night.
Why the fuck? That's such an odd target to me.
It's a government
center.
Okay, yeah, I think that makes more sense than burning down targets and shit.
For sure. It's just that they went to I guess it was a soft target, right?
Yeah.
But whatever.
Who's guarding?
Yeah.
Were you there for that?
I was.
Did you hear whispers that it was going to happen?
I did not.
Okay.
I did not. And of course, I'm out there with my camera as a white. Can't see me.
Fucking undercover cop.
Little white guy.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of keeping to myself, hanging with my friends, because I don't know how people are going to accept me.
Right.
Yeah.
And especially when you're there, more or less, because you're capturing history. Like you're not there necessarily to protest and riot.
Were you just holding your camera up like crazy, like just to?
So I have a camera harness. So both my cameras. I have two cameras. They both sit on my sides. Mm-hmm. So you can't miss them.
Right.
You know what I'm there doing.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to ask a bunch of questions because nobody's going to really talk to me.
Would you go talk to the police? In this line, did you make any effort to sort of, to document them and what they're feeling or whatever, or ever have those moments?
Let me make this clear right now. No.
Okay.
ACAB for life, for me.
Okay.
Personally, I'm not a fan of the police.
Yeah.
And I learned a lot through the protests and stuff like that of why exactly people feel the way that they feel about police.
Yep. No, I get it.
And so it really, really opened my eyes.
But I do disagree, I want to say.
But
totally that's okay.
Fine.
Yeah.
Totally
I just want to be clear because I said I get it or whatever, but I want to say, but I do understand where I've been beat up by cops before unjustly. I've been, I've had that shit happen because I do have I'm not black, but I have a lot of flavor and just a lot of general elegance, and it makes police angry. But, and also whatever. Whatever. We don't need to talk about that. Anyway, back to that. So,
I really didn't converse with the police at all. I do feel sympathy for them because anybody going through that situation it's tough. It wears down on you. You know? You got people constantly yelling and throwing things at you.
Yeah. How do you say? Because so you don't believe there's any good people who are cops?
No good cop in a racist system.
No good cop in a racist system?
And the system is notoriously racist.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
And these good cops need to start speaking out. But the problem with that though is that the cops that do speak out, they get reprimanded.
They get
they get in trouble,
and often worse.
Exactly.
Right. It's a risk.
So,
you can't. Yeah. And yeah, okay.
There are good cops. There are good people out there that just want to see their community thrive and take care of people.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that there's not. There
right.
are.
Yeah. And that's, I guess, my thing with this in researching all this and going through it is I just went through this shit where I'm just like, you feel like you're watching fucking children interact with each other, kind of, right? Like we're doing this thing where no one's listening to each other. Everyone's hey, maybe it's not good for us mentally to be walking around assuming the worst out of everyone who's against you, or just looking for shit to be offended or inflamed by and whatever. And it's and we're all doing that. It's like if you invited someone to dinner and someone goes, oh, hey, I invited this guy to dinner, and just so you know, he fucking hates you. He's against everything you stand for. And then it'd be hard to eat that meal if he said something. He'd be like, what the fuck? That's what we're doing, right? And it's it's just not a way to be.
Yeah.
And, I listen to the Beatles a lot, so I Love Is All You Need. I try to err on that side and try to give people, I don't know. I was just watching this over and over, and it's this is so fucking pointless, and we're going towards such a bad spot.
Yeah.
I feel this pressure now to try to advocate for that,
Sure, yeah.
There's no answer if it doesn't bring everyone to the table,
Yeah.
And that extreme shit of saying that everyone's bad on any side to me is so it scares me because I feel like it's more of this shit.
Yeah.
And I fucking hate this shit. I have kids, so I'm soft now.
Well, we're all just so divided in this country, you know. And, you know, regardless of how you feel about Trump, I think that when he came into office, that's when there really, really, truly was there. There was a left and there was a right.
Oh, yeah.
And there's no in between. You're either with us, you're for us, you're against us.
Hey, man, listen, I hate Trump, though he's sometimes funny. And, yeah, no, I mean, sowing division is the worst thing in our culture right now. Just like fake news was the most dangerous thing. Like, right when he said it, I was like, that is one of the worst ideas that's ever been foisted on our people, because now everyone gets their own reality. And we're seeing that acted out, and it's fucking awful, you know. And that's why if there's anything I'd like to be a force for, it's trying to get people back at the table together and going that it's you know, we are more alike than we're different, and we gotta try to bring people back to it, and you know, rather than keep saying you're a piece of shit, because it just doesn't. I'm a piece of shit, but it just doesn't help. Right. It just doesn't. Right. I don't know. So anyway, back to the fucking story we're here for.
I'm done.
This from the guy that said I'm not going to get political.
I'm done. I know.
Well, hey, it lasted 20 minutes.
I think that is anti-political, though, right? I'm saying that everyone needs to be It's a bullshit hippie thing. That's all. Yeah, it's not political. I'm not saying either side's right or wrong. I'm saying they're both wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's all. But anyway. So you're there. The parole building gets burned down.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's kind of what sparked everything off. After that, you know, people were lighting dumpsters on fire, porta potties, cars, more buildings, and that's when I really was like, okay, this is getting a little intense. Okay, so the cops they started to move in on us. Because we were all
burning
separated.
Things down. Right.
Not true. Not me anyway.
Well, right. No. I get it. But the crowd is right. So they're like, we got to make a move.
We got to move in.
Yeah.
They let certain shit slide, and like, okay, now this is getting a little out of hand.
Because that's what happened from Minneapolis. That's our impact on Kenosha, right?
Yeah.
Is that everyone had that trigger now?
And I bet that if like George Floyd wasn't murdered and like nothing in Minneapolis happened, I don't think that Kenosha would have escalated.
No doubt.
No, it definitely
nobody would know who Rittenhouse is because
we created that.
We wouldn't have even heard
no
of it.
doubt.
Right.
It was truly people like going home. I'm from northern Minnesota. You get a lot of more conservative values up there, right? So you get a lot of that where I'd be there and, oh, Mr. Minneapolis is here. Town's not so fucking great now, is it? Kind of stuff. And it's like, oh, no, not really. I can't really defend it. But how many people there were just like, that fucking governor's got to call in the National Guard and quell that shit. It was a difficult conversation, but it was very clear to me that sentiment was around, right? So people in Rittenhouse's town 20 miles over the border, I'm sure that's all the fuck they were talking about.
Right.
Right.
Well, and I think I could be wrong here. I think Rittenhouse's dad lived in Kenosha.
I didn't know that. Really?
And I think one of the big things in the trial was the fact that Kyle didn't bring his gun over state lines. His gun was at his dad's house in Kenosha, Wisconsin.
Yeah. I mean, it was definitely, that's been one of the most annoying things is people constantly going, transferring a gun over state laws, like as if that's the part that's fucking bad, right? Like, no, it's more that he's a fucking 17-year-old, whatever, he's got a superhero complex that he's going to go guard a fucking, whatever.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Anyway.
And actually, if I can back up just a little bit.
Yeah.
Yep.
So the first day, we got out there around noon-ish. And we're just walking around the Kenosha County area. There's graffiti everywhere. There's, things had burned down already from the night prior because we were there the second night, right? So we're just walking around, and I'm just, snapping pictures. And, I go home after all of this had transpired, and I had pictures of Kyle Rittenhouse cleaning graffiti.
Yes.
Cleaning graffiti off of buildings.
Can we pull up that photo, Jake? So, yeah. So you sent this right before the show, so we saw this. And I actually, to me, this is somewhat profound, right? Because you see the dude, and I don't know how you felt about, one of the things that happened right away even Joe Biden, whatever, like shortly after the shooting, he called him a white supremacist, right? And I don't think that that's been proven. I'm sure there could be prejudice or whatever.
That's also just everybody's go-to.
If you're inflate it,
right? You know, he's
like
a white
immediately.
It's
It's
like
like
he's got a fucking hood in his closet.
he didn't just go there with a gun.
Right.
He was there actually trying to do some good too.
Yeah.
And my take on him the whole time, through the trial, through everything, is like people making like this fucking insidious villain out of him, and it's like, I don't know, it just looks like a chubby boy to me who clearly made an awful decision, got in way over his head. I mean, just to watch him in the videos that we had, like the way he's running exhausted, the guy is shitting his fucking pants.
Well, what these photos prove to me is that he didn't go there with
just to
shoot,
kill someone,
just to kill people.
Right.
He showed up to actually,
which is important.
Do things,
right.
Like help the community that his dad's from.
Yep.
And so I think that's huge. That shows that he definitely wasn't there just to cause trouble.
Was that a hard realization for you to make? Because you're coming at this from a fairly extreme ACAB kind of thing.
Yeah.
And there's the guy who it's very easy to you watched him do awful shit that we'll get to shortly here.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know. Was that sort of profound for you or difficult to accept?
No, not really.
Okay.
Because
God, you're a riddle. No,
I didn't really. I never thought that he went there to cause problems. I really didn't.
I thought he might have because I just was totally unaware of that stuff.
I would say I think that I always felt like he went there not necessarily to go murder somebody or to confront, but being like, this is just an opportunity where if I happen to have to get to shoot somebody type of thing. Like
if I was 17, in this right circumstances, right, it'd be like, well, I'm going to go be a fucking hero. Right. Like, I'm tough. And it's,
to kind of go off of that a little bit, there was a video or some sort of situation that happened with Kyle Rittenhouse 2 weeks prior to Kenosha.
Yeah, I saw that video.
He said, I wish I had my AR right now so I could shoot some people.
Right.
So that's,
right.
That's also
anyone who brings a gun to, like, you brought a gun to a riot and then you're shocked a gunfight broke out. It's just extremely difficult to be sympathetic, to that person. So even though I am, because I fucked up when I was young, I did dumb shit, not like that.
Yeah.
Not even close to fucking
I
that.
hope not.
But, right. But, I mean, I'm always amazed that people are Republicans when they're young. That shit blows me away.
I was.
Really?
I grew up in a very conservative family.
I did too. Don't you rebel against that shit?
I did.
You did.
When George Floyd happened.
Right.
That was like the trigger moment for me, where I was like, I don't necessarily agree with my family on these things.
Wow, you went in deep immediately.
It was, and we fought about it. I've left there because I was living with them for a while, and I literally would sleep in my car sometimes because I can't. We're fighting because these things are happening, and I have my point of view, you have your point of view, and there's no middle ground here.
There's very few people who didn't fight with their family over these things, right? Like, so I mean, yeah, for sure.
But yeah, that George Floyd was the moment where I was like, okay. Yeah, I think I lean a little bit more left here.
Yeah. I mean, I've absolutely felt that way too. I mean, profoundly. I was,
And even my dad now, he still posts, even though he knows I was there. Mm-hmm. He posts, pro Rittenhouse things on Facebook. And I'm like, oh, that hurts, Dad.
Yeah,
like,
man.
That hurts, man.
Your son witnessed that.
I watched this. I told you I gave you my account of what happened.
Probably tearfully.
Very.
Right.
And it was.
Oh man, I'm sorry. That's really hard, and I can understand that. I
still love them.
Yeah,
my family.
Of course.
Don't ever get that twisted.
Of course.
I'm always gonna care about them. But
yeah,
it's just like, really, Dad.
Oh,
and my sister, my mom. My mom's a little more accepting, but
yeah, you're in a safe place with that sentiment. That is,
I've been kicked out of family Christmas.
Tevin's Black Amish, for Christ's sake.
Black Amish.
No, it's my favorite thing to say. But yeah, no, but very, very, conservative background too. Both of us have that kind of So anyway, we're at the burning. So How'd you roll up on the white boys with the guns? Did you hear they're there and you went there to go see them? To get photos of it?
This is where it gets kind of interesting.
Okay.
This is the point right here where I was like, this is weird. Okay. So things are burning around us. Cops are pushing us down the street slowly, you know, a few blocks here, a few blocks there. They push us all the way down to where that gas station is with all, you know, the patriots or whatever you want to call them, all the guys with guns. They pushed there was probably 300 people or so in our group. And they pushed,
good size.
Yeah, they pushed us all down. They were, you know, shooting tear gas, trying to get us to back up. So we eventually just got stuck at that gas station. That's where they brought us to. And then they retreated.
And left you with the citizens.
They went back a good 3 or 4 blocks. The cops did, and just left us with. I'm gonna keep referring to them as patriots. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't know how you want to take it, but if I say patriots, that's what I mean.
Thought I was a patriot.
And so on this map here, so whereabout are you? You're on the suspect fleeing towards like 9th Street, or you're back more closer to the
gas station's position with the militia.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
Yep.
So so you guys were pushed up there. Now, so there are 2 gas stations on corners. So did they push you? Were you between them and surrounded by dudes with guns? Is that how it works?
Not really.
Okay.
Excuse me. They were mostly at one gas station. I can't remember which one it is when looking at this map, but they were they were both they were mainly in one group at one gas station, and the cops had pushed us down there and then retreated 3 or 4 blocks. And I was like, well, that's weird. They pushed all these Antifa or Black Lives Matter protesters down to where all these
Antifa's
white guys with guns are.
Yeah.
You know, I felt like they had kind of set us
set up for something. Yeah.
Did fear come through your group at that point? Did it?
It did at that point, because at that point there was altercations everywhere.
Okay.
I mean, people are.
I was going to ask were the patriots saying things or goading you guys?
Yeah.
Okay.
Both sides.
Both sides.
Both
of course.
sides, you know?
Of course.
And I think that's actually where Rosenbaum first comes in contact with Kyle.
I was going to say, so I watched that video of that, and it's very difficult to watch because the guy lost his life, and no one deserves that, and that was fucking awful, obviously, right? But he's going up to a guy with a gun, and in the most intense, I'm going to fight you way, saying, fucking shoot me, fucking shoot me. I mean, as extreme, like, you know.
And as a 17-year-old kid, you've got this big guy coming at you, yelling at you, saying, kill me, or I'm going to kill you. That's got to be
He
intense.
looks like a dude. Right. Like, I mean, I watch it immediately. It's like, okay, that dude would make me fucking, get back on my haunches for sure.
Right.
So, I mean, I get that. And Kyle, soft face. We've seen
little baby face.
Yeah.
Little
I mean,
fake crying.
To me, the most telling.
best.
See, I don't even believe that's totally fake. We disagree on that. But
You don't think it was fake?
I think that.
100%
Listen, I think
fake.
it was a real.
Oh, he's trying
Listen,
for any.
I have children.
Anything to come out.
I have children. Right. This is what they do. They're in
Look
trouble.
at that.
Oh yeah.
That's how he cries?
Listen, that's my son.
Where's the?
That's my
tears?
5-year-old boy.
Right, your son's
Yeah,
5.
I know. That's what I'm saying. So I'm saying I know what that is.
Okay, yeah.
He's doing this thing where they go, "I'm sad, I'm in trouble," and
Right, so
then
after
and you just let
it
it
up,
go.
yeah.
So it's like genuine fear and whatever. And yes, you're absolutely playing it up and let it keep going. But he is truly, there's shit in his pants, like for sure.
Right.
And what I'm saying is, the reason that I have some sympathy for him in a sense is like, this is how much of a soft boy he looks like, that he had a gun and he shot at people, and like people like you chased him.
Yeah.
Like anyone else, you just go like, oh, I'm not gonna fucking chase someone with a gun.
Right.
He actually looks easy to overtake, right?
Yeah.
And
I think
that's
that's
why it happened to
probably
him.
what Rosenbaum thought when he
Right.
was kind of picking on
Right.
Kyle.
You looked into his eyes, and he could see,
Weakness.
yes, for sure. And there's another picture. So this is one that you took?
Yep. Okay, so let me preface, I am a photographer, and this photo drives me nuts because here's the thing. We're running down the street, and it's not easy to try and take.
Should we tell the story first before we get to this,
Sure,
or like
yeah,
you know, kind of keep this chronological?
Yeah, absolutely.
So okay, so we're at the gas station. So Jake, we can take that down and then put it back up. Yeah. So we're at the gas station. You guys are feeling trapped. That's the last thing.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. So I mean, and there's people yelling at each other left and right, and you know there was no like physical
Right.
fist fights or anything like that, but
you feel
at
that.
any moment,
Yeah.
this could happen. Okay, and that's kind of where I started to get a little like, okay,
Right. You can feel the energy kind of shift.
we're in this situation, and I don't know what's going to happen. Very, very tense.
You had a fear response, would you say, or just
I think
alertness?
I think adrenaline.
Yeah.
I think adrenaline was going through me just because, you know, it's a lot going on all at one time.
Yeah.
And, you know, we're not even talking about all the rubber bullets that went past my head or
Yeah.
stuff like that. But just being in that specific situation
Yeah.
was scary.
If the cops pulled back 3 blocks, why did you guys not kind of go back with them, or move and go down another side street? Would you say, like, what's your feeling of why that happened?
Some people kept moving. But I'd say the bulk of the group was still just hanging out at that gas station, just kind of.
Also, to be support for the people who are in these arguments, in some degree, right?
Yeah. So they're.
Yeah, you don't want to be the pussy to move on, right? To
right.
sort of like leave everyone in the lurch, right?
So, yeah, I guess I don't know where I'm going to go with this. But
Okay, but so you see this stuff starting to go up. It's getting intense. Is it encircling you? Are you standing kind of outside it and it's all in front of you, or
we're
what's
all in that intersection,
okay?
kind of where that gas station is, and it's like bleeding into the gas station. So you know, there's.
And is it the gas station or the used car lot where Kyle,
It was
you know, where it started?
The gas station is where Rosenbaum
Got
Got in his face.
went to Kyle.
okay,
I didn't see it personally.
okay.
I was in the group. I didn't see it.
How far away were you when that happened? So I guess
I
are
was
we
at the
there in the
gas
story
station.
right now? Okay,
I was at the gas station. I just wasn't, you know, face to face with those two. So I didn't see it
because there's so
didn't
much
hear it,
shit
didn't know.
going on.
Right.
You're kind of just whatever.
And the whole time I'm trying to take pictures.
Yeah.
You know, I'm trying to just do what I'm there to do.
Right.
and then you hear the first shot, I assume.
Okay,
Is that
so
is that what alerted you to it?
I was feeling the intensity. So I was like, okay, I'm going to pull out for a little bit. I'm just going to go catch my breath. So I walked down the street towards the car spot where Rosenbaum first gets hit. I'm in me. I'm like, so there's the
To the car spot. I'm sorry. What?
Like
yeah.
the auto building.
auto building
That's
where
across the street.
Rosenbaum.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Got you. Yep.
So I'm kind of in the street right in front of that car spot.
okay.
The circle on the left.
And I'm just kind of catching my breath, you know, smoking, just breathing, you know. And then all of a sudden, I see Rosenbaum and Kyle kind of going up the street together, and Rosenbaum is following Kyle.
So Kyle's got his gun probably in his hands, like obviously, right?
It was around his neck.
Okay, around his neck.
I don't think he had his hands on the gun at that
Are they
point.
walking? Is it like he's chasing him?
It was like a fast walk.
Okay.
But Kyle was going away probably like out of fear, in a sense, would you say, or
Yeah,
trying to
you know,
find his base?
I can't tell you what was going through his mind. I think he claimed that he was going to that auto place to make sure it was safe.
Okay.
That's what he claimed in the
Right,
trial.
right.
He apparently the owner of the auto place enlisted a 17-year-old kid to take care of his.
Naturally.
Right.
Naturally.
So I think he was just going there to, and again, I don't know. This is all
Yeah.
me just guessing.
Right.
I think he was going there just to make sure everything's safe, and then Rosenbaum's on his tail, and he's yelling at him, you know, saying
The shoot me, shoot, like that kind of stuff.
You know, and I think he did say, like, you know, I'm gonna kill you. So I see them walking fast up this car lot, and all of a sudden, you just hear a shot go off. And which is not It sounds like a rubber bullet. It sounds like tear gas. You don't really know 100%.
Okay.
You don't really know.
It wasn't
100%.
profoundly different that got
it
everyone's
was
attention.
One shot.
Okay.
Okay. Don't know where it came from. Heard it, but I just don't know where. And then I look over to where I hear the shot, and Rosenbaum. I see a paper bag or a plastic bag get thrown in the air. I think he threw it at Rittenhouse, and like a chain, like a metal chain. Okay.
The plastic. So it was a chain in the bag, or you're saying he threw a bag, like a couple things.
I think they were both in his hand at the same time, and he just chucked it at Rittenhouse.
Okay.
And then Rosenbaum kind of bum rushes Rittenhouse a little bit. He runs up on him, kind of behind a car, and I see Rosenbaum reach for the muzzle of Kyle Rittenhouse's gun.
Yeah.
And that's when Kyle Rittenhouse shot him, I think 4 times.
Wow.
Just right in the head, right there.
Jesus.
I mean,
You were looking at that?
I saw it. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
How far away?
I was on the sidewalk outside the car store, so I would say no more than 35, 40 feet.
Wow. Holy shit, man.
Well, maybe more. I'm bad at judging stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I'm on the sidewalk, and they're in front of the car store.
Whatever the case. Yeah. You're very
still
close.
in full view. Okay.
So what's your first reaction? Just utter
My first reaction
shock?
was, holy shit.
Right.
Right. And because at that point, you don't know, like, is he going to continue shooting everybody that's in this intersection?
I didn't know if we're an active shooter or this was a one-off thing.
Was Rosenbaum was he immediately and like clearly dead, or was he calling out or anything like that?
He didn't say anything
Okay.
that I know of. I think he got hit in the head and just down.
Did you hear like what was Kyle's demeanor immediately after that happened, as far as you could tell?
Scared.
Yeah.
I think he was scared. He ended up, running down the street, and that's kind of where I chase after him. That's because here's the thing: you're in this situation, you're not really attuned to what's going on around you. You just saw somebody get shot in the head, and I'd never seen anybody get killed before in front of me.
My God, right?
It's the first time, and I'm not trying to be a hero or anything, but at the same time, I'm like, there's nobody. I don't know if there's anybody else around me with a camera. I don't know if there's anybody else that got this, saw this. So I have to do my part to take pictures of this guy because he just shot somebody. I just watched it. So he's running down the street, and everybody around him is yelling, that guy just killed somebody. Go get this motherfucker. Like it's chaos.
Oh
Everybody's yelling. Everybody's yelling. That guy just killed somebody. Go get his ass. So there's a big group of people running behind him. I guess I wouldn't say big, but 30 people.
That's big. That's fucking.
Enough. That's a
oh
lot
my
of people.
God,
but they're not necessarily like running after him to like.
Right.
Well, he still has a gun, right? So I mean, they're all kind of keeping whatever.
Right. And I'm
keeping a distance.
I'm on his tails, man. Like
really,
it sends shivers down my spine sometimes because when you look at those pictures, and I don't know if Jake can pull these up right now.
Yeah, let's do that.
That one specifically, you see him. He's looking right back at me.
Right.
He's looking right.
He's holding his gun, so his gun would be kind of in front of him.
And this is right after he had just shot Rosenbaum.
And so, Jake, do you have the other one where he's like holding the gun, kind of like where he's on the sidewalk more? Is that immediately after? You sent me one where he was like on the side. Yeah, that one.
This was literally he's leaving the car shop parking lot right there, and he's. Is
that the first in the series?
These are like the first 2 images that I had taken.
That dude who's standing there with the cell phone is too casual. If he just saw a murder, that is so fucking.
Maybe he didn't see it.
Right.
I don't know.
And those people down there, so that's where the police perimeter was down there.
Yeah, you can kind of see the police lights down there.
So he's running back towards the police.
And okay, so he's running home.
Right.
Yeah.
In a sense, right? So as you felt that go on and you feel that, I mean, it's so weird because of course I've never been in a situation like that, but I feel like I understand the energy of people going, that dude did something like feeling that
it's a
coalition form.
mob rush to
Yeah.
try and go get this guy.
That's terrifying.
It was.
And especially for you, like as you're chasing him and he turns and sees you taking pictures.
Right.
It's like if he is really like, it's very easy for him to
If
just
it's an
say,
active shooter,
I have to shoot him now because he's seen my face.
It's almost in his best interest to try
Right.
and cap your ass.
Right.
And were you aware of that as it was going on, or were you just like adrenaline city?
I wasn't at the, I think it was adrenaline.
Yeah.
I wasn't at the time. I was thinking like I just have to get picture of this guy.
Yeah.
I don't care.
I
if
would
it's
just
a good
watch him
picture,
murder.
bad picture. I have to because I don't know if anybody else saw this.
Right.
And you didn't feel like I got to go to Rosenbaum and give aid or be there. Like he was so clear that
did end up going back to Rosenbaum
Mm-hmm.
after the other two got shot.
Mm-hmm.
Anthony Huber and Gage. I did go back to that scene, and he was still on the ground. You know, his head was bleeding.
oh my God.
And somebody was there trying to render aid.
Right.
Somebody, somebody took their shirt off their back and wrapped it around his head. Sorry.
No, man, no, of course. I ran out to a car accident once where and I became aware in that moment of like, am I ready to see someone dead? And I thought I would not struggle with that, and I stopped running. Like it was like, I don't know that I want to be the first one to see this shit. So I can imagine. I mean, that's incredibly intense.
Yeah. Anyways, to backtrack to our story here.
Yeah.
So I'm running down the street after him, and something in me was like Tevin, you said, like, are you? I actually don't remember what you said. I take
that's
that.
all right. Yeah, of course.
Recant that.
Yeah.
Where he's like looking at you taking pictures of him type of is what you're
Right.
saying? Yeah.
So something in me was like,
You're in
okay,
danger.
I have to back up.
You have to document this. Okay. And then I have to
at that
back
point,
up.
I
This
was
is
like,
dangerous.
I have to.
Yeah.
I still continued after him a little bit, but
Yeah.
I pulled back.
Yeah.
And that's when I don't.
Who was the dude who ran up and kind of hit him in the back of the head? Right? Like is that the next person to get engaged?
Yes,
Or
that was Anthony Huber.
Okay.
I think he hit him with a skateboard.
Yes. Which is, it's in a way that's, heroic, and it's and crazy.
Yeah.
And because like he's carrying a fucking AR-15, man. Like it does.
He had
It
already shot
amazes
one
me,
guy,
right?
Right.
It amazes me, in a sense, like that he wanted to do that gamble. I mean, it is like admirable because he doesn't know the context of what happened, right? He just knows that a fellow protester was shot and he ran up there to do it. So he didn't know that dude was kind of egging him on and probably,
Right.
So whatever the case, that's very sad,
Yeah.
Yeah, for that guy. How did that happen? I guess so. He hit him with the skateboard.
I don't know if Kyle Rittenhouse tripped, fell, was pushed. I don't know.
Yeah,
I
thought it was from the hit. Was it not from the hit?
No,
that
because
knocked him down?
Kyle Rittenhouse was on the ground when he was hit with the skateboard.
Okay, I thought I saw a video of someone run up behind him when he was running and like hit him in the back of the head, but I didn't know what it was with.
That was that like tiny little black girl. She was fierce, man. Like,
yeah.
It was like right after he had just shot Rosenbaum, and she's running after him full gung ho, and he just slaps him on the back of the fucking head as hard as she could, But so the next thing that I realize is, and I'm probably half a block away from Kyle Rittenhouse at this point. I just look over and he's on the ground.
Mm-hmm.
Don't know how it happened, but he's on the ground, and all of a sudden I see. I think they call him Jump Kick Man.
Okay.
Are you guys familiar with him?
Yeah.
So that's Anthony Huber hitting him with the skateboard.
Oh my God. I actually haven't seen that photo before, and I'm sure it's everywhere. I just haven't seen. No, that's yours. That's yours.
That is not mine.
That's not yours. Okay.
Mine.
Okay.
At this point, I'm not really taking pictures.
Right. Okay.
At this point, I'm.
It's a
Did you
surprise.
feel some instinct to warn people, like to go, like don't, like, I don't know. I'm sure you're just locked up in a sense, right?
Like, you're not gonna all of a sudden just break through to people like with a conversation.
No,
Right.
of course,
Right.
but yeah.
So it's like. It's. I don't want to talk, like, to anybody around me because I was trying to.
You're in shock.
Right.
I was trying to comprehend things.
Yeah.
I was like, what what just happened.
I'll bet, yeah.
So I'm not really talking to anybody. I'm kind of in my own little world. And so Kyle's on the ground, and I think it was Jump Kick Man that kind of came in and kicked him like on his arm or on his something like that. And then Anthony Huber had come in and hit him with the skateboard. And that's when Kyle Rittenhouse unleashed, like, I think 2 shots on him.
Okay.
And I watched that happen.
He just rolled over. So he got hit pretty squarely with that. Like,
Yep.
I mean, did it look like it'd be a knockout blow in a sense?
No.
Okay, it didn't.
It
Wasn't
looked
that
like it
hard?
hit him kind of on the back of the head. Like,
Okay.
Towards like the hairline.
Right.
You know?
Yeah. Kind of didn't square. So,
Probably
like,
wouldn't
if you make
feel
that
good.
hit, you gotta. Right. But if you make that swing to a guy with a gun,
Yeah.
you got right. Yeah, you got to connect perfectly.
Right. Which, it's insane to me.
There's Jump Kick Man.
You know what? I think Jump Kick Man was the first one that came in.
Okay.
I'm so sorry. I'm like
No. I think that's what you said. Anyway.
And here's the thing. I'm telling things from my account of what happened, and it's not necessarily factual,
Right.
because everything is happening so fast, and this is how I remembered it.
Of course.
So if I get something wrong from the trial, forgive me.
Yeah.
But this
Well,
is
the
just,
trial's not 100% right either. It's other people's
right.
perspectives too. So I mean,
Right.
it's really interesting from that picture how there's a couple people who look like they're just walking the other way, not interacting with what's going on.
Yeah.
And that sort of speaks to the general chaos that there must have been. That there are people who like the blonde dude there looks like in the fucking jorts or whatever. Whatever. That you
Totally
can be,
oblivious.
It's
Yeah,
that crazy that you cannot be aware of this shit going on. He's still not aware. And now a second dude hit him in the head.
Yeah.
I'd like to talk to that dude and go, what the fuck were you thinking? Yeah. But anyway, so this guy gets hit. So then does he back away? Like, how did that happen? How did Rittenhouse
Jump Kick
turn
Man
to...
or-
No, this guy.
Oh,
Huber.
Anthony
Yeah.
Huber.
Yeah, I assume he rolled over with his gun.
Yep, you see Rittenhouse on the ground there. His gun is on the ground. He kind of just rolled over, raised it up, and popped him twice.
Was Huber backing up after that hit then? Like, I mean,
I think it was too late. I think Rittenhouse had pulled the trigger. He didn't have time to back up.
Oh, okay. Point blank
it
and
all
just...
happened
right.
so quick. You know what I mean? And I think Anthony Huber got shot. I think it was in his stomach, I want to say, or his chest.
Shot in his chest twice, I believe.
Yeah, chest. That's from what I remember.
And
so
was he dead immediately as well, or is that...
To be honest, I don't
know.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I know. So it's funny too because, well, not funny. The hospital is literally right across the street.
That is a fucking hell of a picture.
So that guy
yeah.
just got shot.
yeah.
Oh my God.
So that's Anthony Huber. He got shot.
He's clenching his chest.
Oh my God.
So
And
he's
that dude. Sorry. Oh my God.
yeah.
That's fucking insane.
I think that guy
is that the third guy
I
who
think that
got-
guy is Gage. That's the guy that got shot in the arm. That
Who
is
survived,
that
right.
is the guy. That is the guy that got shot in the arm.
Wow.
But what's interesting about that, and especially when it comes to this trial, is Gage had actually pulled out his own pistol.
Right.
I don't think you see it in this picture.
And that's what was said at the trial. What sort of blew up the prosecution was that he was a prosecution's witness, right? And the prosecution, like everyone's expectation, is that he would go up and say Rittenhouse drew on him first, and he admitted, like whether he told the truth or he screwed up. I don't know if that's come out yet.
Yeah.
But whatever the case, he was on the stand and he said the defense
That's the guy
lawyer.
in the hat. That
Yeah.
Right.
The
but at this
defense
point,
lawyer
does
said-
that even matter if he pulled his gun out because he already has shot 2 people?
It
Like,
did in the trial very much. Like, I mean, the defense lawyers put their heads in their hands. Like, it was like, you folded us, because it sort of just made him look like he's just willy-nilly shooting people.
Right.
Whereas he admits, I had a gun on him,
Yeah.
too. So of course he shot me.
Right.
Sort of thing. So, like, that was almost grounds for dismissal.
Oh, okay.
It was like that bad.
Yeah. Yeah.
That is fucking crazy. That picture is
That-
crazy, man.
Yeah, that is a. There's so much going. Like the skateboard hasn't even hit the ground yet, and he gets this picture.
Yeah,
Do you know who took this picture? Chaz?
I don't know who it was. but it's insane to me, you know? Like, this is the craziest situation that I've ever been through.
Great pictures, Jake. Good production.
Way to go, Jake. Jake on the ball.
Thank you, gentlemen. Thank you.
Wow. Turn up your fucking mic, though. Jesus. But yeah.
But I think Rittenhouse's one shot in his arm to gauge there blew off like 60% of his arm or something. Like his arm was his arm was hanging on by a thread.
Yeah, I don't
Really?
know what
By a thread.
YouTuber Facebook's censors are, so I didn't want to
Yeah.
the gore.
No, that's all right. Yeah. But I want to see it after the show because I'm whatever, gross like that. He has air freshener on him.
And I think Gage is wearing a medic hat too. I think Gage.
Yeah, he had a paramedic hat on.
Yeah.
Wow. And he was running up to a guy. Oh, man. That's crazy. I wonder, and I'm sure he was going to put him down, right? Because he saw him shooting. I mean,
but in
he
the
would have been
trial,
in
he
his.
said that he, that's not the type of guy he was. He wasn't planning on shooting Rittenhouse, but also you pull your weapon out. What are you planning to do here?
That's all this shit, man. You just go, whatever. I mean, it's an awful fucking thing.
He's got his hands up in this photo.
Right. That's why it's really surprising because he had to turn and wheel from there and shoot. Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
and who knows if he had his pistol in his pocket or what.
Yeah, because I can't tell if it's in his hand there. It doesn't look like it.
No, it doesn't look like it's in his hand in that.
But he said he drew his gun out before Rittenhouse shot.
Right.
So that makes me. Who knows? In the next 2 seconds, a lot could have happened.
Taken it out.
So, but yeah, that is crazy. So at this point, when we're at this point, when you see Huber get shot and whatever, like, are you still watching, or did you turn to get shelter at that point? Or
I laid on the ground behind a car.
Okay.
Because I didn't know if
Out
it
of
was
eyesight, like I mean,
Yeah.
at that point, it's I don't want to die. Right?
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah. Of course.
I'm worried about my livelihood at that time because
Yeah.
it's like
Of course.
I just saw 3 people get shot.
And
so.
in this picture, like, do you know, like, kind of whereabout you would be, like, in relation to this, where this was taken?
So you see Gage there, guy
Behind
holding his,
him?
Yeah, I was behind him, maybe 50 feet.
Okay, so essentially Rittenhouse's would be facing you.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So then there's also
my
that
God.
added element of where if he misses,
you got straight bullets going.
Did you see those guys get shot before you laid down behind the car?
Yes.
Oh, you did.
So Anthony Huber and Gage happened in
Really quick succession. Okay.
a minute's time, less.
Right. Probably 20 seconds or something,
So-
right? Like, yeah.
from this picture.
As
Right.
soon as those two got hit, that's when I was like, okay, I'm gonna duck. I'm gonna take shelter.
Was at that point, because now there's multiple shots, was everyone aware of this going on at that point? Did it become where
everybody in
Rittenhouse
that area,
is the center?
Yeah, everybody in the area knew we have a shooter.
Right.
He shot people.
Right. I mean, it is amazing, even though, and I don't want to go on this limb necessarily, but I think Rittenhouse was a moron for being there, justified in a sense for doing what he did in those moments, right? Like, it's as much as I hate to say that and hate to admit that, I think that is what happened. But the fact that he didn't get shot after that happened, right? Because cops don't know what's going on, or that someone else there didn't have a gun. And it's just the fact he made his way to safety. How did that happen? Are you aware of that?
I don't know, because at that
I'm
point
sure
I disengaged.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not going to keep following this guy.
Yeah.
From what I hear, he made his way to police officers, and police officers essentially
Took him in.
They shoot him off. He ended up going home that night.
That's right. He walked. I'm sorry. I know this. He had his arms up, like a Hummer-style vehicle comes by. He had his arms up with his gun around his neck, and they just fucking went right by him.
Yeah.
Yeah, it helps to be white.
It definitely helps.
Big time.
Big time helps to be white. If he was black,
Yeah.
he wouldn't
I mean,
have
he's trying to turn it, like he was essentially trying to turn himself in.
Yes.
And, which actually reminds me of another thing. After he shot Rosenbaum the first time, there's video of him running toward a camera. I guess you would still be behind him the whole time, right? There's a thing where it's alleged that he says, I shot someone or whatever. And I was curious if you heard that.
I think he was actually
he was making a phone call. Yeah.
He was on the phone.
Standing by the body making a phone call.
Yeah.
Which, I wonder if that ever came out who was calling. I assume the police, but I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
He was on the phone with his friend that he was there with.
Oh.
And that's when he told his friend that I'd just killed somebody.
Makes sense.
Okay. Did you, what is it? So you're laying on the street. I'd imagine that your muscles are almost locked up.
Yeah.
Was it hard to move?
Yes and no.
Yeah, because sometimes your limbs get heavy in those high adrenaline situations like that. Yeah.
I remember standing up and just being kind of lightheaded.
Yeah.
I think that was a lot due to maybe shock.
Yeah. How'd you know when to get up?
So I was behind the car, but I could also see where this happened.
Mm-hmm.
And I saw that there's two people down. Gage is tending to his arm, and Anthony Huber's laying on the concrete. But I don't see Kyle anywhere.
Are they making noise? Are they calling for help? Anything like that?
It was no.
Okay.
No. Well, actually, I take that back. Anthony Huber was yelling. He was, asking for help. He was like, "This guy just shot me." But other than that, I didn't notice anything else aside from that.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think it was like a dire, like, oh my God. Like, I think it was more like calm.
Really?
Which is pretty insane to me.
Yeah. I would think it would be pandemonium at that point.
Yeah.
Like truly, even for you emotionally, I would imagine it would be natural for you to be laying there like questioning every bit of what the fuck you're doing there and what not that it's not just or real, just that it's like this is fucking crazy that it's escalated to this. We're in hell. This is hell. Yeah.
Where was your friend that you were down in Kenosha with during?
He was in the general vicinity with me. He actually has a picture of them loading Rosenbaum into like a soccer mom van in the back of the van and taking him to that hospital, which is literally right across the street.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
It literally right across the street is where the hospital was. So,
was he aware of what was going on?
My buddy?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, he was shooting video.
Just overall, like that you were down there or whatever. What was your first move? So you get up from that awful nightmare. Who'd you call? What'd you do? So you called your buddy, but what'd you do from there?
That's when I went back to where Rosenbaum was shot.
Okay.
And that's when I still saw
him there.
Rosenbaum on the ground and pool of blood and white t-shirt wrapped around his head. So that's where I went, and that's kind of where I met back up with my buddy. And we were there for a while just like trying to talk about what we just witnessed,
Mm-hmm. Were you feeling things emotionally yet? Had you started sobbing? Or were you still in shock?
Not yet. I was essentially kind of numb to it at that time because of
you just can't believe.
I really
just
didn't,
disbelief.
I really didn't know.
Yeah.
What I just saw. Like I said, I'd never seen anybody get killed before, and it's like you see that and it kind of fucks you up a little bit.
I'm sure. How do you go to sleep that night?
I don't.
How do you go to bed? You know what I mean? Just all that. Like how
we got.
Did you just want to go home and get away from it after that?
We went home the next day.
Yeah.
My buddy wanted to stay, and I was like, dude, like I'm
Yes.
sorry, I can't.
No.
I was an absolute mess.
I'll bet.
I was sobbing. I was crying uncontrollably. I was like, how could this happen? Why?
Yeah.
Why?
Have you, you've been, I think, given what you've seen, I'm really impressed at how you're, honest about the facts, what you've seen, and honest about, kind of saying things in a sense that are against your cause or what they'd want you to say in a sense, right? Mm-hmm. So I think that's just super admirable in general, and it's what we need a lot more of.
Yeah.
Was it hard for you to come to terms with that? Did you have any difficulty? I don't know. Did you go talk to a therapist? How have you been processing this?
I had PTSD for a little while from it. Couple months, I would say, where, I just kind of had to shelter in my home and just make sure that nothing's going to spook me, you know, any loud noise. And I was like, but a lot of that also is due to the fact that, you know, there's lots of stuff going on around you. There's rubber bullets, pepper bullets. You got mace. You got all that. Like, I think I was in PTSD through the whole situation, but that added on top of it made it worse.
Yeah.
So I went home and I didn't even look at the photos that I took from that night for 2 days.
Yeah.
Because I was like, I am not ready.
Oh, fuck yeah.
I am not. I'm not ready to relive
Yeah.
this right now. You know, and I. It's really stuck with me even throughout the last year or so. I'm very much like less trusting of people, even if I don't see a big gun on you. It's just like I don't know what anybody can do at any point in time.
Right.
Yeah.
At this point, you know what I mean?
Right. If this 17-year-old can kill some people, what is anybody else capable
Exactly.
Yeah.
And you know, there's stuff in the media all the time, like the guy in Waukesha yesterday that ran through.
Oh, that's
went
fucking,
through the crowd
that's,
or whatever?
That one made me fucking sick to see that video of the car racing by at that speed. I mean, it's...
I think an 8-year-old died today.
Oh, really?
There was a 6th victim in that today.
Yeah.
It was an 8-year-old.
It's super sickening, and we did an episode with an FBI counterterrorism guy, and one of the things that he talks about, because they do threat assessment type stuff, and he's like, one of his worries was people just, you know, like we were asked about dirty bombs and all this shit. He's like, I'm more worried about people weaponizing their vehicles and shit like that. Right. So, I mean, that's something that's been known, and it's like, oh my God.
And even while we were there too, there was an older, like, white lady that tried. We were marching down the street, and there was an older white lady that tried to go through us. I mean, not like ram.
Right, but she's
not
trying to cross the
she's
street
trying
or
to
something.
go down the street where we're all walking, and we're all just like, "What are you doing, lady? Like, do you not see there's 500 people right here? Like, what are you thinking?"
No, it's crazy. It's like,
and then it's
are
mob
they consumed
mentality.
with hate or scared?
Yeah, and then
you know
it's
what I
mob
mean?
mentality.
Like,
everybody thinks that you're here to do something wrong, so everybody's pounding on the pounding on the cars, like
scares the fucking shit out of the old lady, and then she does do something. So that's sort of what I'm speaking to. Of like, God, it's such a disease that we're in right now. This assuming the worst from everyone, and because you just get the worst, and it fucking sucks. But fucking sucks, man.
Fucking sucks. So now you're back.
Commentary.
You're back home.
Sucks, man.
And you decide, like, did you go through when you finally look at the pictures? Was it because you're like, I might have evidence that like the police need, or was it just because you were finally ready mentally to look at the pictures?
I still wasn't ready mentally.
No.
But I want to get my photos and my story, what I saw, what I know. I want to get that out there. Because I still think it's important for people to know. Either, you know, I'm not a super well-known independent photojournalist, but you know, people follow my social media.
You're on Profession Confession, dude.
Right. Yeah, you're doing
pretty
something
big
right.
fucking deal.
I'm pretty professional now.
Yeah.
This feels like
no, but that's. I mean, it is. It's a. You know, essentially, we're first-hand witness to. You know, unfortunately, there's so much of this shit. You know, the Chauvin trial. I felt safe saying that was a historic. A historic event, and I think the Rittenhouse trial almost got more publicity in a sense, but I don't know if history is going to remember it the same way because
I don't think so.
Right, like there. Unfortunately, there's so fucking much of it, and I hope whatever. I don't want to get into the politics shit of it, but it's like it's so fucking sad that there's so much of this shit, right?
Well, I think that.
But it's definitely
the Rittenhouse
a national
situation.
Event. It's huge.
Right.
It's huge.
America knows all about it. I'm sure
it was the biggest story in the country for weeks.
Right.
So I mean, I'm not saying it's not enormous. I'm just wondering historically if it'll be remembered in the same way. How you feel about that?
I don't know if it will. But here's the thing. That trial set a precedent. I think it set a precedent.
A horrifying one
for people that go out there thinking, you know, they're gonna be. I think the right word is vigilante justice, or is that the right word?
Put it this way: do you want people showing up with guns to every dispute, right? Or to every like? It's truly on our legislators to just put some laws in with that kind of shit because it's just that undoubtedly
it's
is
already
going
an
to
emotionally
lead
charged
to the worst
situation,
shit.
and then when you add guns to
Yeah.
that, like it's nothing good is coming out of that.
I don't want to see a dude bring a gun to fucking McDonald's, man. Like it's not comfortable to be around. Even though I like guns, I like shooting guns. I still it is weird, the whole bringing them around everywhere and whatever.
Well, I mean, it's protected under our Constitution.
Yes.
And it will be for
which I'm
forever.
for many aspects of that. And I don't know how to deal with it. I haven't thought that far. I'll solve that for the next episode. But I'm just going like, truly, I haven't thought of it. But it is a terrifying precedent. Because it will. I guarantee you. There's going to be people out now. That's going to be a thing.
Yeah.
And that's pretty fucking scary. Which means the protesters are going to bring them, and then it's just going to be,
a shootout,
taking another step to civil war, right?
Yeah.
And it's which the right separatists and shit need to play that out politically, because if you look at geopolitical things, places in Europe and all that shit, they're not going to side with the isolation. They're going to side with the people who are trying to do business with them and shit. So, I'm sorry, extreme right. You are truly going to lose those wars just financially. You just can't win. So,
Right.
Yeah.
And so then you go through the pictures. What was your reaction to that? Did you realize I need to get these to people to see this?
Yeah. So
what was the process like leading up with the trial playing out on
So
TV as well?
I had talked to a couple friends, and they were like, well, you're a firsthand witness of this. You should, at bare minimum, send your photos to the police department. So I did go through and I did do that.
Did they contact you?
No.
Really?
Nothing back. I think there was so many other.
They probably felt like they had enough.
There were so many other video and photos and stuff from that night. And my photos, let's be honest, I'm running. They're not good. They're not good.
They just said, this guy sucks as a photographer.
Fuck this
Yeah, you got to mix in some good ones with it.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
What I would like to know even more, was there conflict? Because the testimony that you would have given probably would have exonerated Rittenhouse. I mean, I think. Because,
Possibly.
Possibly. Did that give you pause in a sense?
Pause in terms of?
Pause to, to come forward. Was it difficult to come forward to send your photos?
No, I thought it was the right thing to do.
When the trial was going on and it was looking like he was going to get off by the evidence and what was going on, what they charged him with, were you, I guess, did you see that coming? Did that feel just to you? Even though you might not like it. You know what I mean?
The overall acquittal.
How'd you feel
of
about the
Rittenhouse?
result in the trial that you saw?
I think that trial was, I don't know.
Great prosecutor.
It's
yeah.
God. It's I go back and forth with it, to be honest. And like I told you, I'm pro BLM. I'm pro I have sympathy for that. But at the same time, when I'm looking at self-defense and I'm saying, okay,
right,
I witnessed Rosenbaum lunge for Kyle Rittenhouse's rifle.
Yeah.
I don't know what
he had gunned the residue on his hand.
Yeah.
He was grabbing his gun.
I think if you're reaching for somebody else's gun and you've already been saying things like I'm gonna fucking kill you.
Yeah.
You're probably gonna get shot.
I think you can make that self-defense claim for Rosenbaum. I really do.
It is. I mean, it is. Listen, I'm against what Kyle did to be there, right? That's the dumbest shit and stuff. But it's legal. He's constitutionally protected. Unfortunately, in that scenario, I don't want to live in a society where we start saying, well, he can't have a gun, so I can. You know what I mean? Like it is. That scares me. Where that's going genuinely. Yeah. Truly, I don't believe he's innocent or a fucking
there should have been
patriot.
I
wish there was different charges that they would have brought.
Some sort of.
And I'm not aware of. I didn't look into that aspect, but I feel like there probably could have been other charges that they brought. But there was pressure to.
They try to get him on first degree.
Right.
Which is
like the
right. It should have done manslaughter.
Mistake.
Yeah.
Right.
It should have been manslaughter.
But even then, it's extremely hard to convict in those things. In that scenario, because there's so much documentation of that he was under it, and whether I like it or not, it's by the law. And if we start going around the law because we don't like something, that's truly the beginning of tyranny. You know, like there's shit that you got to eat sometimes, and this sucks. But I think it helps that I believe his life is ruined.
Oh, I think for sure.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Well, but then, like, when you see, like, all the politicians are like, oh, I'll give him an internship and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Are you guys fucking high?
Yeah.
He's and whatever they will. He'll get money right away. He'll get all this shit. But it'll be like
the George Zimmerman guy where he like doesn't leave his apartment and has to order all his
he's a
groceries.
known
Like that.
chinless, chubby, crying boy. Like that's not going to play well in your life.
No.
Think of the kind of girls who want to fuck you. Like really, the girls who that guy who cries, who fucking killed, like what, like you're attracting the worst people. He's gonna have a horrible fucking life, dude.
Yeah.
Looking over his shoulder all the time. No one wants that. He wanted to be Rambo. I'm old to use that reference, but whatever. He wanted to be Jason Bourne or whatever it was, right? And it's like that did not play out for him, right? And he's clearly the dude is disturbed. I have some level of sympathy that you're a moron kid who did an absolutely idiotic thing, and whatever. But
what is one thing that I've thought about too, and I think a lot of people have when it comes to this case, is why would his mom send a 17-year-old kid, down to an active riot?
Did she send her? So this has been a question that I did not get answered, actually, is I've been wondering about the parents the whole time and why they haven't got more media of like, why are you letting your fucking child go to the, I know he's not a total child, but still, he's in your care. And yeah, I mean, it blows me away that they haven't sort of got some heat in a sense.
My mom would have whooped my ass, and then she would have showed up to my trial and been like, yeah, put him away.
My dad would have done tough love and been, well, got yourself in a fucking situation now, didn't you? Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, for sure. How do you not, this will be my last one at least. I don't know if there's anything that you're missing, but I'm still kind of impressed with your demeanor and your perspective on this for what you've seen and all that stuff. I think it's really, whether we disagree on certain things like that, I mean, really, I'm very impressed with your sober take on that, because you just don't see enough of that right now in this world politically, right?
Yeah.
And what did you have a period of fucking hating, hating the right, hating cops even more, to where because you could get consumed by that hate and go down a bad road yourself. And is that something that you're aware of or dealt with or whatever? Or was this natural to feel?
Yeah, I think it was natural. Yeah,
okay.
I think it was natural. I guess I don't really have much to piggyback off of that, but I think it was more of a natural.
No, that's good.
Natural for me.
So yeah, I have just a couple more questions. One, were you ever like in jeopardy or in a position where you might have had to go testify since you were so close to the events that happened?
I don't think so. I mean, like I said, I sent my
you said they didn't
pics
respond.
No,
to
they didn't even
police,
respond,
and I never got anything back from them. So I don't think I was ever gonna be put on the stand.
Yeah.
Are you worried about people finding out who you are through this? No. Did you say no?
No.
Good.
I think
I think you've been so reasonable. Now, that's what I thought about the last guy, and they're speaking German on my thread, so, maybe I'm wrong again, but I feel very, like, you never know when you sit down with anyone with these things, and believe me, sometimes you sit here and I'm going, oh, and they're just saying kind of shit where you're like, all right, but no,
this was just I was there, this is what I saw, this is what happened. There's no...
Yeah, with, if not for the few comments, like, you could have easily hidden your politics, if you wanted to.
Sure.
I mean, through the way you replayed the events. So, I thought it was great. So, thank you. I mean, is there anything you want to say, anything you want to promote or anything, I guess? I didn't even think of that.
Check out Mercado Media.
Okay.
Mercado Media, he's a buddy of mine. Andrew Mercado.
How do you spell that?
Andrew is Andrew. Mercado is Mercado.
Okay.
Mercado Media is his media group, and I've worked with him a lot in the past, and I think he does a phenomenal job. He's a live streamer. He's out there constantly. All the time. And he's traveling places. He's following stories. So if you're ever looking for an independent media source,
Yeah.
definitely check out Mercado Media. I think he does a
Absolutely.
great job.
And also, our homegirl, Georgia
I was
Ford.
just gonna say you got to check out Georgia Ford.
Yeah,
as
Georgia.
well.
She's
Do you know her?
Yep.
Yep.
I
We
know
love Georgia
Everybody-
Ford.
I've stopped
Everyone
asking
loves
people.
Georgia
I've stopped asking
Yeah.
people if they know Georgia Ford because they look at me like, yeah, of course we know.
Right.
Everybody knows Georgia.
Yeah,
know
no,
Georgia.
she's
I
great.
mean, she was with Unicorn for a
Yep.
while.
Yeah. So, and then, I got to shout out our sponsor, which, by the way, I think everyone will be excited about this. This episode is brought to you by Big Johnson T-shirts. Remember them? They say the bigger the rod, or the bigger the pod, the bigger the rod. Big Johnson T-shirts. Sponsor of Profession Confession.
That is true.
Let me say that again. The bigger the pod, the bigger the rod at Big Johnson T-shirts. Thank
We have
you.
a very big podcast.
Absolutely. Liquor in the front, poker in the rear. Big Johnson T-shirts, everyone. Thank you very much. And also thank you to our other sponsor, Bear Whiz Beer. All that glitters isn't gold. But thank you guys very much.
So, do you have any shows coming up?
I do, but I don't know the dates. They're in January. I just started booking, and honestly, I've been doing a lot of stand-up, so I'm having a blast. So actually, if anyone needs me for a private holiday party, I would love to do your corporate party. There will be swears, though, but I do them very often, and it's really fun.
Yep.
And we are going to be booking shows, actually, trying to do some stuff with Steve Gillespie over New Year's.
Dope.
So actually, if someone wants a New Year's Eve show, I got a killer lineup that we're trying to find a home for. So, so yeah, man. And if you need a podcast needs, you want to talk about that?
Yeah, if you have podcast needs, come to MBC Studios where we do dope stuff like Profession Confession. We have politics shows, sports shows, all of that. You know, we could put you up on TV, MCN 6.
And if you need video content for your business,
yep.
like you want to make tutorials, sales demo.
Essentially, it's like a documentary style question and answer where we chop ourselves out of asking the questions, and then you get online content for social media, your websites, all of that.
Basically, whatever you want.
E-commerce.
But our whole thing is that we do this live editing thing so that you can, and we're set up for it. So instead of paying $1,200 to have someone come set up at your office, if you can make it work in our studio, you can get it for like $250 per video.
Yep.
So and it's really high end, professional looking video. So yeah, NBCMulticast.com.
Absolutely.
Otherwise, thanks for watching, everybody. Good night.
Do you know where this road leads? Then hear this, all ye people. Give ear, all ye inhabitants of the world, both high and low, rich and poor together. Do you indeed speak righteousness?